Welcome to our Queer Conversation series brought to you by LOTL Production. My name is Silke Bader. I'm in the studio today with Nick Steepe, Project Manager at the Charles Sturt University in regional Wagga Wagga. Charles Sturt University has signed as a sponsor of Queer Screen's Mardi Gras Film Festival, which will see selections of short films brought into regional New South Wales. Wagga Wagga is the first university campus town to host the film festival this year, with the option of more of our regional towns to show these films later in the year. Wagga Wagga's showing will take place just before its own Mardi Gras festival on the 12th of March. It is so important to spread a message of LGBTQI+ inclusivity in regional town. Welcome, Nick. Hi, Nick. Welcome to the LOTL studio today. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
No, you're very welcome. I was very excited to hear that you're here from Wagga Wagga, regional New South Wales, and you're doing some amazing work.
So I'm an advisor for equity, diversity and inclusion at Charles Sturt University in Wagga. I've been at the university for about 4 years. But my journey, I guess, with Charles Sturt started a few years before that. I actually studied at Charles Sturt for my undergrad as well as my master's. So I have a deep connection to the university, and now I get to play a part in promoting equity, diversity and inclusion for everyone, but especially the LGBTIQA+ community, which I think is really important in regional Australia to promote that. So we do a number of things and have a number of initiatives to continue to advance our commitment to equity, diversity and inclusion.
So when you went to university, did you have support?
The Charles Sturt Ally Network, which is made up of trained staff and students around LGBTIQA+ inclusion, began in 2014. And so I was involved in my last year of uni, but before that I was kind of a distant student as well, so there wasn't too much happening in Dubbo around that point in time, but I always felt supported as a member of the rainbow community, and I try to incorporate my lived experience in LGBTIQA+ into my degree. So I did social work in my bachelor degree, and we did a subject on human rights, and there was refugees and people with a disability, First Nations people, but LGBTIQA+ wasn't there, and that was pre-marriage equality, so obviously there's a lot of human rights there. And so I asked the lecturer, could I do my essay on LGBTIQA+, and I had full support, and I ended up getting a HD. So it is a really wonderful university, and being a student and now being a staff member, I have both of that lived experience. So I guess I come from a unique perspective to identify what students would like and how we can better support inclusivity for the rainbow community.
No, that's great. I mean, you would expect that to happen in big cities like Sydney and Melbourne, but to actually see this happening in regional New South Wales, it is really like we have come a long way. And so what about the initiatives?
So next week, dates, but the 10th of March, we're actually getting some of the films from the Sydney Queer Screen Mardi Gras Film Festival, and we're doing a screening in Wagga Wagga, which is the first time that Charles Sturt have partnered with Queer Screen to bring the films out to the region. Last year in September we did sponsor the Queer Screen Film Festival, which was virtual then, and we gave out free tickets to staff and students, which was really great. But I think now that we're resuming in-person events, it's more important to bring the films out and show a diverse range of stories and lived experience relating to the LGBTIQA+ community. And it's actually in the lead up to Wagga Wagga Mardi Gras, which started in 2019. And it's such a fabulous event, and Charles Sturt University has been a major sponsor of the Wagga Mardi Gras since its inception in 2019.
I saw some photos. There's a website, waggamardigras.org or .com?
I think it is .com, yes.
Yeah, and I've seen the photos, and it just kind of reminded me of like the early days of Mardi Gras here in Sydney, and it's kind of exactly where Mardi Gras needs to go, or where this kind of pride celebration needs to happen, because we don't want to preach to the converted. We really want to be visible in regional areas, because there's still a lot of kids that really are doing it tough out there. And so now the university is sponsoring the Mardi Gras Film Festival, and I believe there are mainly short films that they are showing. Is that right?
Yeah, so we did look at a range of films and considered, different ones depending on, the needs of the community. But we narrowed it down to a section of 5, and the running time is around 75 minutes. So, they're 15 to 20 minutes. We do have one which is, I think, absolutely beautiful, and that was a no budge for me. We were having that one, but it only goes for about 4 minutes, but it's just so beautiful and so powerful. And I guess it represents the intersectionality of being someone with a disability, because it features people who are deaf, and lived experience of being LGBTIQA+, and it's just such a moving film. I had, chills kind of just watching it for the first time, and I really can't wait to show people in Wagga and those that come along to the film festival.
Whereabout is it in Wagga?
So it's at the Riverina Playhouse, which is down the main street of Wagga.
On the 10th of March?
Yes.
Okay.
Starting at 6 o'clock.
Yep. Great. So Nick, tell me, what is the initiative behind what the university does for LGBTQI+ inclusiveness?
Yeah, so I mean, there's multiple different ways in which we demonstrate that through, researchers studying the LGBTIQA+ communities, regional events, and, tourism as well. We have a range of different programs. We're looking at updating our systems to ensure, gender titles, terminology, preferred name, and allowing students and eventually staff to be able to have their preferred name represented across our systems. But one of the biggest things that I'm proud of at Charles Sturt University is we actually raise the rainbow flag on every one of our campuses for Ida Hobbit, which is International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, Intersex Phobia and Biophobia. And, we have campuses in Dubbo, Orange, Bathurst, Wagga, Albury and Port Macquarie. And I just remember me growing up, I went to high school right next door to Charles Sturt University, and if I saw that rainbow flag being raised for Ida Hobbit, it just would have meant the absolute world to me. And the fact that now I get to be involved in, I guess giving the next generation an opportunity, or to see something, or to see themselves reflected and have that visibility in such a regional town like Dubbo and Wagga, it just means the absolute world that the university is, fully supportive of initiatives like that, because we are really committed to the regions. We have such a strong presence in the regions, and therefore we have, I think, a responsibility to be involved in initiatives like getting Queer Screen to come out to Wagga, raising the rainbow flag, participating in things like the Australian Workplace Equality Index, and updating our systems and policies and, procedures and all of that kind of stuff. So for me, it is real, it is genuine, and it's authentic inclusivity and commitment to that inclusivity.
You said it launched in 2017 or 14?
The Ally Network itself? Yeah, it was 2014.
14, that's actually been going for quite a while, hasn't it?
And I mean, it's evolved as time has gone on. And COVID actually forced us to think differently, because we couldn't deliver the training in person. So we had to move to an online model. And due to that transition to an online model, we broke it up a little bit as well. So it's now 2 modules. So there's a general awareness one, but then there's empowering allies, which is around, how to be an ally, what are the characteristics of being an effective ally, and allies get, a little pack with a lanyard and a little rainbow lapel pin and a poster, and then become involved in the network. And through that engagement, because a lot of our students are actually online, a huge proportion of our students are online, so the uptake from online students now that we offer this training online has been absolutely incredible. And we actually have more students now than we ever have involved in the Ally Network. And, you know, to have that dual voice, I think is just so important. And every month the numbers grow, and I think that's really wonderful to continue to see and see that momentum continuing.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's really the young generation that really are pushing for this change, and especially including the allies. I think this is so smart. This is great. And
we get a lot of questions as well from, you know, the heterosexual straight community around, can I participate in Wagga Mardi Gras? Can I march with Charles Sturt University because I don't belong to the community? Of course you can. We need allies, and, you know, in recent times marriage equality showed how much we need allies, and, you know, it just amplifies our voice as an LGBTIQA plus community through allies. So marching alongside us, that is a demonstration of visible and active allyship, and, you know, for me, that's always strongly encouraged.
Fantastic work that you and the university is doing in Wagga Wagga. Is there anything for the rest of the year apart? I mean, this is a big gig, the festival, the film festival, and Wagga Mardi Gras. What else do you plan? What other initiatives apart from those two, or those are your two main activities throughout the year?
Oh no, it isn't just a kind of March commitment or engagement around this space. It is year long. So we do have multiple kind of plans upcoming. So celebrating International Day against, you know, homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, Ida Hobbit, celebrating that in May through the rainbow flag. We'll most likely maybe do a panel discussion or a few on-campus activities now that students and staff are coming back on campus. It would be really good to connect as a, you know, in person, physically. And then, you know, things like Wear It Purple, we celebrate that. Trans Awareness Week, which is in November. So just multiple different ways in which
keep the visibility going throughout
and the conversation as well, because it shouldn't just happen around March when Mardi Gras is happening and, you know, rainbows are everywhere. You know, I flew in last night and it's all, you know, on the baggage terminals and at the front doors, and I see the flags all around Sydney, and I think it is beautiful, but I would like to see that all year round. And one of the things that we've done at Charles Sturt is actually installed permanent signs of inclusivity. So we have really big rainbow stairs on Wagga campus, and they're there all year round for students to enjoy and love, for me to take, you know, photos on, because it's stunning. So yeah, multiple different ways, and I would, I guess, encourage people, if they want to learn more about it, to definitely check out our social media pages.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for the chat today and for coming in. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you so much.